Warning: the views and opinions expressed in this program are our own and/or those of our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our employers. Viewers' discretion is advised.
You want your underwriters and your closers to be happy when they see your name go across their desk.
I'm really hands-on, right? And I think that's what really helps me be successful, is the fact that like I'm really right there on the spot, right?
I always have a plan in the evening too. Like I always have like an idea of like what I want to do, and I'm sure all these guys can attest. Like it never works out that way.
People will see me and they'll call me and they'll text me, they'll honk at me and things like that. So I'm right there in the heart of
celebrity status, man.
I have so much to say. I have so much to say.
You're in Tennessee now. I see the T. Hey, are Asians allowed in Tennessee for reals though? No? I want to make sure.
I ChatGPT'd it. I Googled it. Asians are allowed in Tennessee, but there's no casinos here, so I think that's why there are none.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta get your nails done somewhere. Right? So.
I know, right?
When I was in Nashville, we went and got some Asian food. It wasn't bad. And we talked to, it was like a Filipino restaurant, and there is a pocket of Filipinos on, I think it's the west side of Nashville. So I know they're out there.
Yeah, I mean, are Filipinos really Asians? I don't know. I mean, that's like, are Indians Asians? I'm just saying. Hey.
I don't know.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the BDO Show. This is a podcast for BDOs by BDOs. I'm your host, Emily Detour, and I am here with my fellow co-hosts, Daniel Park, Andrew Chong, John Chung, and Zach Bennet. At the beginning of each episode, we're always going to remind you to like, subscribe, and send over your topics and suggestions to the BDO Show at artofsba.com. BDOs. Have you ever had a borrower bring in like a brother-in-law to do their life insurance? Doesn't end well, does it? We've all been there. When you require life insurance on your SBA loan, it's critical that you bring in a company that specializes in getting these policies in place for the SBA loans. The last thing you want is for life insurance to be the holdup. We all know that's a rookie mistake. SBA Protection Quick Close Life Insurance is the fastest, easiest way to secure the insurance protection that your borrower needs for their SBA loan. Their process is simple, hassle-free, and only takes a few minutes of your borrower's time. No lengthy paperwork, no complicated forms. They even have programs that don't require labs or doctor records for approval. And best of all, you will have the collateral assignment back in less than 24 hours. It's a no-brainer. Go to sbaprotection.com for more information or email Adam Bergen at adam@sbaprotection.com. All right, guys. Today's episode, we're going to jump around a little bit, but I know a lot of people are always wondering, okay, they know what a BDO is, but what is your day like? What is pipeline management? How do you juggle things? Time management. This job is not for the weak. We all know that. It is a very involved job. You are working with teams spread across the country. You are working in different time zones. You have 10 different deals, 10 different structures all at the same time. It's a lot of organization and planning. So let's just start by talking about the minute your eyes open. What do we got going on as in both personal and BDO life? Because again, you've had to juggle many things. You all and all of us are in different times in our life. Some of us have new babies. Some of us have teenagers. Some of us have kids in college. Some of us have just a dog. So it's like, what does your day look like? Daniel, let's start with you.
Why gotta go first?
Because I love putting you on the spot first. Always.
Okay, so
This will be short.
He wakes up, gets a coffee, goes to the casino, goes home.
Well, that's on the weekend. No. From the minute I wake up, I get up at 3:30 for a quick pee break. Then I go back to bed. By the time I wake up, maybe about 4:30 or so, right? Say a quick prayer to the man upstairs. That's the first thing I do. Grab my coffee. I grind my coffee every day. So I got coffee beans.
I do too.
I grind that. Yeah, it's so much better. Okay, so I go in the living room, turn on my news. Straight up, I gotta watch my news. I don't know why. Maybe as you get older, you just want to get in the know what's happening in the world.
Local or national?
I watch local. Yeah.
Makes more sense.
I've got my news on. I got my coffee going. After that, I hit the gym for a little bit. Before I hit the gym, I pretend like I'm a stock trader. So I start playing with stocks a little bit here and there, and Sometimes
So
I lose my ass, or sometimes I'm up. So that kind of it's gonna determine how my day's gonna go. But hey, it's fun. It's entertainment, right? Right. I mean, we're on sales, so it's kind of like you get that little rush. So then I hit the gym. I come back, shower up, take my little kid to school, drop her off. Then I head to corporate office, right? So we're a corporate office in Garden Grove, which is about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes away. Go there, see what's happening. I check on any loans that are in the closing. So I stay
so
there
you
for a few
start at
hours.
you start with the closing loans first before you
Well,
start with what your inbox has got.
so I go there. Well, I mean, I check my emails right in the morning, but I go
Yeah.
there first because to talk about any deals or any type of closings that's in the works, right? Because the key to my success, honestly, is that I am close to where the action's at, right? Like the loan closures, note department, that's all in corporate office. So I'm really hands on, right? And I think that's what really helps me be successful is the fact that like I'm really right there on the spot, right? So I mean, I'm talking to the note department manager, loan closer, blah blah blah. Then I spend a few hours there, and then maybe before lunch or right around lunch, then I head back to my office in Anaheim, right? So for the most part, the beginning of my day is in corporate office, and then after that, I go about to my office in Anaheim after the fact. So I basically divide up the day in two. Morning I'm over there, and then the afternoon I'm over here. So that's kind of like how I do it, right? And it's been working for me for the last few years, yeah. And then once I'm in the office, I just start knocking out emails. If I have any conference calls or any type of meetings or what have you, I do that, and then I'll step out for any type of any appointments I may have, right? So that's basically how I end my day. And that'll take me out maybe like 4:30, 5:30 or so, and then I get back home.
Do you work with a lot of people on the East Coast, so you find yourself working
Oh yeah.
earlier and later?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, I mean, I'm texting people at literally 5:36 in the morning at the gym, right? Because I got my East Coast
Yeah.
guys, right, hitting me up, and even the nighttime, right? So the phone just never stops ringing, which is a blessing, I guess, in a way, right? So it does kind of, the biggest struggle that you're gonna have, at least for me, is that when you have two little ones, you need to just find that balance, right? So a lot of times, I'm at home still working, right, with my laptop on, and then like yesterday, my two little kids want to play catch with me. They're like, I got a 4 and a 6-year-old. So I'm having to do that. And also my Buffalo Bills were on TV last night, which they lost, but I was watching that at the same time. So you got to be able to juggle all that stuff, right?
They didn't look
But
good, dude. They didn't look good.
bro,
That
like,
didn't look good.
dude, yeah,
I don't know
man.
what's going on, and it's not okay.
It was depressing. Yeah. No, Houston D was not great. It was just Josh Allen messing up. I saw that comment, by the way. Whoever said that.
Houston D is nice. Houston D is
Hey,
really nice.
but I got James Cook on my fantasy team, so he went off. So hey, you know what I mean?
He did. He had that nice touchdown run. That was nice. That was
Yeah,
nice.
you like that.
Well, let's
Yeah.
switch over to Zach because you have a new baby too. So, what's that like being a BDO? Is this your first child?
Yeah, this is my first
That
child.
you know of,
So
right?
Yeah.
yes,
Hey.
correct.
You claim
Daniel.
that you claim.
That I claim, yeah.
He knows. He knows.
Yeah. So my
Zach's
life
not
has
that guy. He
changed.
knows how many kids he has.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Mm,
No, so I mean, my life has changed dramatically as a BDO, going from like a single guy just a few years ago to being like married with a kid. So it's changed dramatically in just a couple of years. So, but my life now, yeah, I wake up around 5 in the morning. I'm a faith-based guy, so I start my morning with like devotions and prayer and kind of get my mind right, like honestly, because if I don't do that, my day, I feel like it gets flustered, to be honest with you. If I don't do it, if I skip it, try to work in some gym time. And then one thing I always do for my wife is I make her tea every morning before she gets up, because they kind of sleep in. So that's my thing. So when she gets up, goes downstairs, the tea's ready to go. Changing diapers, trying to hold them for a little bit in the early morning before the day starts. And then I'm usually plugged in. I work from home, thankfully. So that's a blessing, especially having a little baby. So I start my day usually around 8 o'clock. In the morning, and kind of like Daniel, I try to look at my closing loans first, kind of the pipeline where we're at, but a lot of times there's fires, right? And underwriting, you got deadlines to meet. So I try to like balance like what's the biggest fire today? What am I trying to meet like expectation wise for brokers? And then I kind of go back to I always have a plan in the evening too. Like I always have like an idea of like what I want to do, and I'm sure all these guys can attest, like it never works out that way. Things always are blowing up. Like you're trying to like figure out what's going on during the day. And but yeah, that's kind of where I started, is just trying to put out the biggest fires and kind of work backwards from there. And then of course I have, couple times coffee appointments, lunch appointments, or like happy hours. But yeah, that's pretty much kind of my day throughout the day. And then like after, like, I'd say 5 o'clock, I'm always plugged in between that 9 to 5 for sure. I'm always available. But because I work from home, a lot of times I can do some other things, help out the family throughout the day. And then I would say by like 5 o'clock, we're kind of winding down the evening, like getting dinner ready, kind of hanging out. And then once my wife and kid go to bed, like early, because we're trying to, the sleep training type thing right now. And so they go to bed a little bit earlier, and then I pop over into the home office and can kind of get a few more hours. I feel like I get more work done in those sometimes a couple hours in the evening than I do like all day long. Because I'm like Daniel, I'm very blessed. My phone it rings all the time. So
it's a good thing.
it's been great. So that's where I do a lot of my catch up time, is in the evenings when things kind of settle down. But that's kind of how my day goes, I would say, for the most part.
Awesome. How about you, John? What do you got going on?
All right, so I'm a little bit different because my daughter is a freshman at UCLA, so she's up on campus.
Ooh, awesome!
So,
congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm much more available to kind of work, and I have to worry about changing diapers. Thank God, that was horrible, or stuff like that. I mean, it was enriching, but at the same time, it's also not fun. I go to bed early. I wake up early. I get up every morning around 4:30. Hit the gym. Every other day, I walk around the lake. We have a man-made lake here where I live, and I find that kind of clears my mind on a lot of things. I'm also somebody who likes to write things down on my calendar. So usually the day before, I put a to-do list for the next day. So it kind of keeps me disciplined. And to be honest with you, as you guys all know, if you type something or write something down, you don't even have to look at it. You'll kind of remember it that way. It's one way of kind of remembering things. Like Daniel, I have people on the East Coast that I deal with, a lot of people out in Florida. So I kind of touch base with them. I put everything on my calendar. So deals that are warm, where people are looking for a building, just to keep in touch, I calendar everything and put a reminder for myself just to kind of remind myself to touch base with them on that side of things. Fires, obviously, like you guys said, they come first, right? Take care of these escrow closings. Any type of closing that has a PSA, you want to give attention to first, and then the refinances kind of come next on that side of things. And I'm in a different kind of place as well, because I'm trying to hire folks, right? I've been at this bank 5 months, so I'm trying to institute a lot of things that maybe they hadn't been doing for a while, because the former regional manager here, Jim Chung, is a good friend of mine. All you guys know him. He's a great guy. They haven't had that position for a while. So I'm trying to institute pipeline meetings, try to integrate people. I'm 100% remote. I wish I had the luxury that Daniel has to go to corporate, because it's out of sight, out of mind. You've got to be there. They got to see you, because otherwise they start forgetting you, right? And you can push on certain things too. So all the crew that I work with are my boss up in Santa Rosa area. So I have to, as I build a team who are going to be 100% remote as well. So I need to kind of make touch points and make it a routine to touch base with these folks. Otherwise, it's just not going to succeed. So part of it is, pipeline management, bring in new deals. I set aside every week happy hour. Like to go out drinking, so I do that a lot. With clients, or lunch if they want to do lunch. Well, I guess I'll do lunch, but I'd rather do happy hour. And then also
I agree.
try to institute pipeline management stuff, as I mentioned, and recruitment, right? And I think a lot of people use headhunters, and I have nothing against headhunters by any means, especially if it's an area that you want to penetrate a market, and you don't know that area, right? But most of what I try to get referrals on are people that I know that refer me somebody, right? So we have it's like a warm lead, very similar to if you get a referral on a deal, right? It's a kind of a warm lead as opposed to a cold lead, because as I mentioned before, you guys all know, it's a very small community we have. Everyone kind of knows each other, right? So if I get a resume, I can make a call. I can just think about it, make a call, look at their resume, figure out where they worked, and talk to somebody that I know that I trust in their opinion, and find out pretty quickly if that person is going to be a good fit or not. I am literally the get off my lawn kind of guy now. So I'm in a different place than some of you guys. I don't have young kids. I've got a lot of time to work, and usually with people that work for me, I try to take care of their stuff first. It's like kind of like playing tennis. I want to take care of their stuff first, and then take care of mine, because I know that they're depending on me to be their champion, right? And it's just another level of, since I've been here longer than them, making sure they feel comfortable, because we have that disconnect where headquarters is up in the Bay Area.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like being outside in the morning, and now that it's, I'm not in New York where you're trapped inside with snowy 40 degrees. Like it's 60 degrees outside. I had coffee outside this morning in the middle of the woods. I was like, this feels so nice. Can't hear any traffic. There's no slamming of car doors or neighbors. It's a weird adjustment, but it's been nice. I agree with connecting with nature in the morning too. That's awesome. So hey guys, we have a special announcement for anybody involved in M&A transactions. Our partner, Peak Business Valuation, have put together a resource just for BDO Show listeners, and they're giving it away for free. It lists out the rule of thumb formulas, or as Krogi would like to say, the down and dirty, for some of the most common industries that SBA lenders finance. I promise you it's going to come in handy. Krogi's literally still using the one he got from Nagel in 2002. By the way, if you're not thinking about evaluation at the pre-screen phase, you are missing the boat. A lot of BDOs tend to focus on the debt service coverage, and they're missing the valuation completely. That's a rookie move, and it will become a problem. As a consultative BDO, you should have a sense of whether the business is going to value out, and Peak's handy dandy rule of thumb is here to help. Go to peakbizval.com/BDO show to get yours today. Andrew, I know nothing about you either, Andrew. So how do you start your day?
Yeah, I mean, I usually get up around 6, and then I try to get some news in the morning.
Local or national? I always get
National.
national. Okay.
Mostly watching the stock market. I don't want to name any channels, but you know what those are. And so I try to get in. So I'm hybrid. So I work out of the office at least 3 days a week, and couple days from home. So I just kind of plan out my week on Friday, and I make lunch plans and stuff like that with contacts, brokers, customers. Plan out meetings and things like that at the end of the week. And usually, in the mornings, I just kind of sit in my office, whether at work or home, and I just kind of plan out the day. Take care of all the emails, and I divide my brokers and customers between morning and afternoon. Some people, they never pick up in the morning. Some of these brokers, they just don't get up until like 10, So I email them, pending items, whatever it is. And then I basically follow up with a phone call in the afternoon. Because, right now I'm primarily, doing West Coast stuff. And so a couple of things that I do consistently for, I don't know, last 10, 20 years is that when I'm in the office and I'm actually going out to lunch with, coworkers, employees, whatnot, I walk the Wilshire Boulevard when we walk to lunch. So I'm visible out there. So that's one of the things that I consistently do, because people will see me and they'll call me and they'll text me, they'll honk at me and things like that. So, I'm right there in the heart of
Celebrity status, man.
Yeah, there we
I have so
go.
much to
No.
say. I have so much to say, but I'm not gonna say. Keep going.
Say it. This is the place. It's a safe space, John.
Get out
Say
of the road. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So in the afternoon, I just kind of wrap up everything, that I was looking to do that day, and then that's pretty much my day.
That's awesome. Yeah, do you guys feel like you get less work done when you do go into your office? Like for the people that do, like, cause it's like, let's go to lunch. Let's have a conversation. Let's sit in and chit chat. But you're like, I got my email is just backed up right now. Cause I feel like when you're home, there's not as many distractions.
I think that's true for the email side of things, but I think it's invaluable, kind of what these guys are talking about
Yeah.
when you're in front of the people. I mean, that is a different type of work. It's a funner work, really, more face to face kind of stuff and building relationships. So that is work as well, and you can't just ignore that, because credibility is huge, right? So if you don't have those kind of relationships with people that you work with, then you're probably going to fail, to be honest with you.
I have two
Yeah.
different offices. So I have like the retail office, the branches I go into. That's tough because I feel like there's a lot of just chatting and water cooler talk type of thing. But So I feel like that's kind of I wouldn't say a waste of time, but I feel like it kind of takes away from my productivity. But if I go like Daniel and John said, like if you go into like where the the processors are, the underwriters, I feel like that really does help deals move faster because you could just directly communicate with them. So I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, and I think it's important,
Yeah.
especially at this time of year, to like your support staff, right? The underwriters, processors, whatnot. I always send them something. It won't have necessarily be big. It's just kind of the thought that counts, right? Very similar with customers, right? You close a loan, everyone's kind of like, oh, they just probably annoyed at the process, whatever may happen. Some of it their own doing, right? Just make sure you touch base with them afterwards, right? I think that's really important. And it's a nice touch that I don't think a lot of people do anymore. Everyone thinks that we're salespeople and you just want to get the deal done to get paid. I mean, yeah, that's part of it, right? But at the same time, you're building relationships and you want to make sure that they're happy. The name in the industry is good, and they can refer you transactions as well, or they might be a repeat customer in the future.
So, John, you kind of brought up something that I thought we should touch on, and that was, taking care of your staff, the people that are behind the scenes, especially during the holiday season. We're rolling into it right now. We have, as this episode's being recorded, Thanksgiving is next week. What can we do for pipeline management during this holiday season? We have people coming up with a lot of time off. They want to see their families. You boys all do as well. So what do we got for pipeline management here, and what can we do to support the people in the background?
Well, I do Starbucks gift cards a lot. When we close
Stay
a loan gets
awake.
closed. And I think also everyone has like an intranet, right, on their work website, and you might be able to send out shout outs to folks or whatever it may be. We have that option, at least at my current bank. So I think it's really important. I mean, I kind of see the support staff oftentimes like property management. Things are going well. Nobody really says anything good to them. So things go bad, then they all point the finger at them, right? Sales, we get the glory, right? But we get the pain too. We're probably the easiest to get fired as well if we don't produce. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? So I think a lot of it is kind of like gift cards or just handwritten cards sent out to your folks, especially around this time of year, holiday season. Do the same thing, I think, for customers, brokers, referral sources, same thing. Christmas cards. I think you gotta leverage your institution for swag, right? For anything that they have, free tchotchkes and whatnot. Kind of get that stuff, send that stuff out. I think it's really important to do that as well, because I mean, a lot of times they'll just sit on that person's desk, right? And they can just kind of see, they'll think of you, hopefully, in a good way. At that time. So I think pipeline management, I think it's really being, obviously we all want the transactions, we all want the deal flow, but I think the way to go about doing it the best is to kind of make it more personal, kind of say, hey, thanks for all the work that you've been doing. And the referrals and all that kind of stuff would be a referral source, or you want your underwriters and your closers to be happy when they see your name go across their desk. You don't want to be like, oh God, here we go again, right? So I think it's important to build those relationships. And I've had closing report to me before. I've had all that, and it's kind of a thankless job, to be honest with you. So the little things go a long way.
Yeah, I do, stuff that's kind of similar to John. So because I'm hybrid and I'm out in the office, 3 out of 5 days or whatever. So my closers and underwriters, they usually know that once a loan funds, I'm buying them lunch. So it's like automatic, right? Loan funded, they look at me, when is he buying us lunch? That kind of thing. Same thing with brokers. I sometimes, because we issue checks and then we deliver them by UPS, and I call them up. Hey, what are you doing today? Are you busy? You want me to drop you off a check and then, maybe have lunch together? That kind of thing. Those are little things, but they stick in people's minds, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with everything everyone's saying. We have a smaller shop here, so that, we have like maybe 4 underwriters, 4 processors, so you kind of really get to know everyone, even though you're kind of separated. Because a lot of people work from home. I feel like you have an opportunity to really get to know people. So yeah, the kudos thing, we can do those like through the company. You can do that sometimes, but after I close a loan, especially if it's been a really challenging loan, I'll definitely take an underwriter or closer out for lunch. Sometimes they've got families work from home, and I'll just be like, hey, let's go on Grubhub and like let's get you food and I'll just send it to their house. Like keep on going, like, you know. And then in terms of like brokers, it really comes down to the broker. Some people are like, just give me a check, get me paid. I don't need to meet, which that's cool too. But some of them really like the check, like Andrew said, like bring the check to me for lunch or a happy hour, and like to have that physical payment. And so I kind of leave it up to whether it's the underwriter, closer, or the broker. Like, how can I just thank you? Essentially, what would make you happy? And so I kind of like depends on the person how they want to do it, and that's kind of how I've always approached my business is what works best for them. But yeah, I agree with all these guys. Whatever you can do to say thanks, I think it goes a long way.
DP, how do you say
Yeah,
thanks?
I'm gonna have to one up all you guys on this show. So this is what
Here
I
we
do.
go.
Here we
I
go.
love it.
After every closing, the gift cards, that's all given, right? So all my people get taken care of on the processing side and the underwriters, right? Now, what I do a little bit different than all you guys is, I mean, I go big, right? So Christmas time come around, I actually do a holiday dinner for everybody on my staff, right? And I pick up the tab. I think it was last year or maybe the year before. We did like a Brazilian barbecue, all you can eat, right? And I picked up the tab for that. That was, that was it was up there. But hey, you know what? It's kind of like my way of saying thank you for the hard work for the entire year. And then typically like spring, April, May, June, July, right around there. I rent out a box at the Angel Stadium, right? So I invite all my brokers, my back office people, and I do that as well. So I try to do that. So I got two events happening, one in the spring and then one in the during the holidays, right? And as far as the brokers go, we don't do checks. It's straight ACH, get paid right away. Why wait 3-4 days for the checks to clear? But that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting an invite to this event, right, in the spring, Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
we're
so
But
all
you
you
know the
force your
dates.
staff to wish you a happy birthday, as we can see.
They all
I
want that raise, man. They all want that Christmas bonus, I don't blame them.
Exactly.
I do know that
Reviews
at
are coming up.
I do know that at True Lion, I have our BDOs kind of. I'm not trying to one up any of you, but they kind of
Oh,
say
hey.
thank you all year long with
Wow.
little things here and there, and it's not
That's a
just because.
given, yeah. That's on. That's
Oh,
already a given
okay,
thing.
all right,
Yeah.
sorry. I was gonna say because I know every once in a while they'll be like, hey, can I have an address? I want to send someone to thank you this or that or this or that, and that was a monster deal that ruined everyone's lives for a couple months. So let's just make everybody happy again. And again, because we're all over the country, like we're everywhere, and you can't be there like collaborating. So you're like, what can we do? But yeah, I think it's wonderful to take care of your team.
Oh yeah.
Especially around the holidays. Everybody is in, like I said, they're all in different positions. Okay, so let's get into your brokers and your referral partners. What do we do for them? All year, some of the time? Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you take them to a game. What else?
Yeah. Well, actually, no, not. Let me backtrack here. So the brokers, obviously, they get paid on the deals that we close. But at the end of the year, I'll send them out like gifts, be like a little tea box set or something, right? I do that quite a bit. And then for the local brokers, yeah, we'll grab a drink, we'll grab something to eat. But a lot of my brokers are not local, right? So for those that are not near me, it's normally like a nice little tea gift box set, right, for the holidays. That's really what I do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
Hold on, tea gift box set, did you say?
yeah, like where's it from? Like a Tea Forte? Is that what it is? Like the little gift box that they got? Yeah. So I sent one of
That's
those
very
out.
zen. I didn't know that was you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
With
Daniel's
some
always like,
patchouli,
hot,
maybe
quick.
little patchouli, incense. I'm just kidding.
Daniel, the man of mystery.
Yeah.
Dude,
Always.
that's very different. Yeah.
So one of the things that I do, I guess, I don't know if it's juggling brokers or whatnot, but I've actually been complimented on is that I try to educate my brokers.
Mhm.
So sometimes I go over a pending list with them, and it'll be a 30-minute to an hour conversation. And yeah, there are a few brokers that, okay, I don't need to know all this stuff. Just, send it to me. I try to send you whatever, and then we'll work it out. I don't want to know, right? There's some of those people. Whereas some of the others, they really appreciate the fact that, I explained to them the reason why we needed these items and how they connect with each other. And so, you spend that hour and then sometimes you don't have to really repeat the same thing on the next deal. And so that's a way that I kind of juggle through brokers. I really try to educate them as much as they can. And a lot of them are now very knowledgeable. They've been with me for 10 years. They kind of know, yeah, I know why you need that. And they'll just provide it right away, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that might want to try.
I think that's smart because junk in, junk out, right? So if you can educate them on how to find good deals for you, that's just you saving yourself time too, right? Because we all know, I mean, I think Zach, you were talking about the branches. I mean, I've worked in the branches. I've, worked with the branch. I covered the branches. Man, it's hard to get good referrals for branches oftentimes, right? Because the way that these banks, institutions do things is it's a referral, right? So they just feel like they're just checking the box, right? By sending you a referral. And they probably know it's not a good referral, but they did their box, right? So it's like one of those things. So, I like the plans that work better where it's like a booked referral rather than just a referral, right? So if you spend a little bit of time with them, and everyone's right. I mean, some people just they don't want any of that, right? Some of the people are seasoned; they don't need any of that education, but some of them really do want it, right? And one thing that I did a few years ago, I think I mentioned previously, is worked with a lot of resi mortgage brokers, right? And they had no idea. It's a totally different animal, as you guys know. It's not debt to income and all that kind of stuff. So if you educate them well enough, and some of those became my best referral sources because they're like, wow, because residential market goes up and down just like commercial, right? But I think they feel the pain a little bit more because their drop is so low. Oftentimes, they drop from high to low, right? So they're busy like crazy, printing money, spending money like nuts, and then all of a sudden it's quiet, right? So they need something to fill that void on the money side of things. So if they can get steady referrals on people that they're really doing business with that have their own business, then why not, right? So
No, so going back to what you said, John. I spend a lot of time because I'm getting referrals from certain branches. I have a region sort of, and then so I spend a lot of time, oftentimes educating them, and you see the improvement a year after year that they don't ask some of the basic questions anymore, and they kind of know, right? Because they've been through this a few times, so get a little satisfaction out of it too.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad I got to know you guys a little bit more, because we all kind of just like linked up to keep the BDO show going, and it's been awesome. But I didn't really know you at all, so this has been a good get to know episode. And I like how you treat your lives, your staff, your families, and everything around you. So keep the good vibes going. But yeah, if anybody has any topics or suggestions surrounding, the holiday season, or how to manage, your pipeline specifically during holidays, or if you want to talk a little bit about your life as a BDO, or maybe what you have going on and how you kind of keep up with the Joneses and everybody else around you, just send us over some suggestions at the BDO show at artofsba.com, and we'll see you next time.